I'd like to welcome our next speaker, who actually is a woman of the world. She's a writer, she's a homeschool teacher, and a biologist. Can we welcome to the stage Kate Nicholls?
Hi. It's really interesting following that because I'm talking about lions, and they're kind of the true red tent space there. I worked in Botswana for 11 years and raised my family in a lion research station. And I was interested in lion reproduction, and I'm a scientist, and I was interested in their estrus cycles. And so what I was doing was collecting lion poop, really gorgeous way to spend the day, and, taking, 10 lion turds home in the car at night, I can tell you, is intense. But what it meant was that I was really fortunate. I had to you've got to wait for them to poop. And so you're with these lions for hours and hours and hours a day, day in, day out for many years. And you get to know them. And as I got to see them, I became absolutely fascinated because what I discovered was their frailties. A lion pride is made up of a group of females, and they are mothers, daughters, aunts, cousins. And sometimes the degree of relationship is not quite as strong as that, but I won't go into that now. And what I saw was how, I'm a mother, I've got 5 kids. I didn't want to anthropomorphize, but I could recognize these frailties. I saw these lions spontaneously aborting, so miscarrying. I saw a significant number of lions who were not lactating successfully, and their pride mates were suckling their cubs. And we kind of all hear about this. We know that lions commonly suckle, and there's this sort of notion that it's all, it's kind of cozy. It's really practical, and it's like us. Some of us are really, produce a lot of milk, and some of us don't. And it's natural, and there's a kind of hideous tyranny among the breastfeeding lobby. Breast is best. It's fantastic if you've got it. And if you haven't, then we should maybe share a bit more. It's a little controversial because I know that we're all meant to be bonding with our babies, but you watch a lion pride, they're all bonding with each other's kids. They're working, the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child, and it does. And we've kind of isolated ourselves a lot. And this is what I learned through watching these lions, that maybe we need to start coming back together again. And looking at these frailties, seeing lions mating regularly, clearly cycling, never getting pregnant. I saw, there was a significant number of females who never raised cubs that survived to adulthood for a variety of reasons. And these are natural reasons. These are, nature it's not perfect. It's just got to be good enough. And that's kind of like us. We're just good enough, And it made me really consider what conservation is all about. And the frailties that are associated with lion reproductive biology, which are natural, which are normal to them, are going to be more and more exposed as these lion populations are crashing. And it's really depressing to be yet another conservationist who stands up and says, we've got a problem. And we've got a really serious problem with lions. They are, it's kind of, may seem overdramatic to say it, but they are at risk of going extinct. We are probably in the next 20 years going to be down to 3 viable populations in the whole of Africa. At the moment, we've got 30,000 wild lions left. And those females who are doing their bit and not raising their kids or not producing enough milk and all that. That's fine. But as these numbers crash, these intrinsic frailties, which are perfectly normal, are going to become exposed. One of the interesting things about lions, that being cats, they're induced ovulators, so they need mating. And my God, do they mate? It's unbelievable. It's 5 days every 20 minutes. They're exhausted. And it is exhausting when you are my kids, and I'd say, okay, I'm going to monitor mating, which meant I was going to be in the car for 5 days. And, it was amazing. It was amazing. I mean, what a lucky, extraordinary life we lived. And we watched these females mating with multiple males. And on one occasion, I watched one female mating with 3 pride males, one nomadic male, and on her very last day of estrus, she had a very short session with a neighbouring pride male. So, she kind of got her money's worth out of that estrus. But what was interesting is that females that mated with multiple males were much more successful. Those mating periods were more likely to result in pregnancy than females mating with one male. And it's kind of not funny, because as these numbers start to crash, these reproductive frailties are going to be exposed for what they are. And on top of that, we have loss of habitat. And I'm going to talk to you about just 2 females who are very representative, Cristal and Freixenet. I knew them from when they were tiny cubs, right the way through there. When our project ended, they were kind of knocking on a bit, those 2 old girls. And between them, they had 22 cubs. And they raised none to adulthood. And they died for a variety of reasons that were natural. And then we watched 3 of their cubs grow up into subadult males, and they were just about to take over a pride when they got poisoned. And Cristal and Freixenet's mother and aunt both got poisoned, along with 6 cubs. And we lost 1 lion to hunters in the 11 years that we were there. And we lost 2.5 prides to poison. So the issue of human-predator conflict is a really, really serious issue when it comes to lions. So they have already, we know, it's not dramatic. They don't reproduce in the wild to the same rate that they would reproduce in a zoo or in a, and that's fine. Let them get on with it. That's perfectly okay. But if we reduce their numbers so radically as a result of poison, it's just not sustainable, and they are going to go. That's it. There's nothing we can do. I've just participated recently in a paper that was really, all of us, a lot of lion researchers, really reluctantly have said, look, as a last-ditch attempt, perhaps we should start fencing them in a bit. Now, the problems of fencing animals are very, very, very serious. It's not ideal. There's kind of last-ditch attempts. There's a fantastic group of women in Kenya organising something called the Lion Guardians. I'm not part of it. I am in that I support Lion Guardians, and I sponsor some Lion Guardians. I wish I'd had this idea. It's amazing. I love them for it. They've engaged Maasai warriors who previously went out and killed lions because it made them butch and strong. And now what's happening is that these lion guardians are actually defending and protecting these lions. And culturally, it is hugely enriching. These guys are dead sexy to the women in their communities. I know one, okay. And it's becoming more attractive to be married to or a partner of a lion guardian than it is to a, which is, it's just an interesting way of using a culture, and cultures are dynamic, And cultures are continually evolving. And I think what these girls have done is to really use that. And if we could use this model elsewhere in Africa and engage communities in defending and protecting their wildlife and making sure that it's also economically viable, then there is a chance, because lions are not the big, powerful, noble symbols that they are frail, and they need our help. Thank you.